Hi everyone. Hi sir. For a small introduction, my name is Mark Anthony Occena. I'm from Mindanao and I'm currently here in Davao City. So, in this video, I will be presenting to you my Arduino project, which is just a simple sensor-based alcohol dispenser which I named as RoboAlco. For the overview of the contents that I will present in this video, I will be first talking about the project description, which is about the functionalities, input and output parameters, code, and some of its usage. Then, I will be demonstrating the project wherein I will showcase the project of how it works in the physical world. Then, as a closing remark, I will be talking about the further improvements and some limitations that can be noticed in the project. So for the project description, I decided to name the project RoboAlco since the project can be considered as a very simple basic robot that dispenses alcohol based on a sensor. Now for the project description, the materials that I used were a liquid dispenser bottle, an Arduino Uno, a servo motor, and an ultrasonic sensor. Some other materials include a copper wire string, a plastic box as the holder for the project, some screws, and some glue sticks. First, what I did was I inserted a screw on the plastic box over the side, which acts as the holder for the copper wire and as a mechanism for allowing adjustments when I needed to. Next, I chopped off some glue stick and poked some hole through it in order for the copper wire to pass through. Then, I glued the servo motor on the side and then I inserted the plastic bottle. Now, for the input, I used an ultrasonic sensor that whenever it detects an entity or a hand, it will signal the output, which is the servo motor. The servo motor rotates and pulls the wire string, and then it pushes the pump of the liquid dispenser, and then liquid dispenses out. Now, here's what the code looks like. Here, it can be seen that I use two libraries, the new ping library, which is for the convenient use of the ultrasonic sensor, the servo library for the use of the servo motor. Then I created some objects from the library so that I could use the library. And then for the setup, it can be seen that I attached the servo motor to pin number 8. And then I wrote the default position as 0, and then I added in some delay for some time for initialization, and then the usual serial begin for the communication of Arduino and the code. Next, for the loop for the action of the Arduino. Here, it can be seen that I used an if condition that becomes true whenever an entity is detected from the ultrasonic sensor. And it can be seen the sonar.ping centimeter function that came from the new ping library is responsible for taking in the distance of the entity in the sensor. Then what happens when it becomes true, the servo motor rotates to 180 degrees, and then after a second, it will go back to the default position, which is 0 degrees. The last part of the code is just some testing that I did beforehand to test if the code works. So here's a demonstration of my project featuring my hands. So it can be seen that whenever my hand goes near to the dispenser, it dispenses some liquid. So as a closing remark, I will be talking about further improvements and some limitations that can be noticed in the project. So it can be noticed that the servo motor can't fully pull the copper wire, and the pump from the liquid dispenser bottle can't be fully pushed, and only a small amount of liquid is dispensed. This is because I think I may need a stronger but a more expensive servo motor so that the copper wire will be fully pulled and the pump could be fully pushed further and dispense more liquid. And then for further improvements, there are a lot of things that I could do, such as improving the overall aesthetic look of the project, wherein I could add some covers to hide the underlying circuitry. Another thing that I could do is add an output LED light and a sound output that lights up and rings together with when the liquid is dispensed. Another thing is that I could record the times whenever liquid is dispensed so that I could perform an analysis of how to budget alcohol purchase. And I think that would be all for my project, and thank you for listening.